Marilyn, President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. And thank you to Marilyn for filling in for us last Tuesday.
Yes, you bet. Is there anybody aware of anything for our sunshine report?
Could Larry tell us about his house?
Yeah, Larry, do you have a second to do that? Where's my microphone?
Not a whole lot, how was it? Anyway, my wife is going through struggles. She's up one day, down the next day, dizzy, doing sick, going to the doctors. For hours last week with her. She was there again yesterday and got referrals to several specialists. So trying to get what's going on. She's very important.
Okay, how about Happy Bucks?
Hello. Susie's done writing down totals. Lion J has a happy bunch.
Yeah.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions. $50. I know y'all missed me last week. Also, I just want to send a little invitation, anyone who wants to visit my wife. She's got some visitations now. You got the front here in room 106. Thank you.
106.
She's in the front here.
Lion.
Yeah. President Carrie Ann, as always, and guests. It's a happy $5. I'd love some change when you get some. The big news of this previous week was the 16-hour driving round trip over 3 days to go to Pullman and see my stepson receive his master's in business administration. It's amazing, you know, that years and years ago I bought a house for $120,000. He bought a very, very nice piece of paper for about $120,000. So that's what, and a robe. It's a pretty robe. The robe was actually $113. Yeah, the sash was a little more, yeah. And the hat. Oh, did you want to have the little tassel? Oh, God. What a racket. I tell you, baby.
How much are they?
I'm like, after 120 grand, I think they should give you the robe. Really, I think it's time. Anyway, the other part of the Happy Bucks, I'm hoping that my new hire, Jerry, has come down with some kind of illness. We're supposed to go camping this weekend, so I hope she gets better, not just so she can keep working and making it so I don't have to work, but so we can go have to camping.
You know what's worse, Pat?
What's that?
When you get a PhD, you know what they give you?
What?
A gold tassel.
A gold tassel.
That's it.
Woo!
Yep. Okay. Over here. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Lion John.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions guest, had a great time in Post Falls, Idaho at the leadership conference. I think I only scared Ann twice, so I'm driving up and back, so that was good. I was really unhappy, Buck, because when we got there, nobody told me that this was a dry resort. But being the good Catholic I am, I just went outdoors by the river.
He just wanted to tell
Yeah, just go to Coeur d'Alene. Hello, Lion Sharon. I want you to talk to this lady. Karen, I'm sorry.
Karen's up
There, I haven't gotten there yet. So I want you to treat this like it's an ice cream cone, get it nice and close.
Yes, President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions, yes. Had a wonderful time at the Post Falls training, met a lot of nice people, made some new contacts. I thought it was a lot of fun, even though it was a dry resort.
Kind of dry.
We get to go out on Saturday night. We didn't have to eat in, so So that's 4 went and had some fun. And I put in 5 there, so I wanted to do a couple more. Let's see. I just found out that my oldest niece is getting her master's in organizational leadership from Arizona State University this weekend. I don't get to go. I don't want to go. It's supposed to be like 110. But I was excited for her. We went to a softball game for our granddaughter yesterday that she played in. She got a really nice hit and scored a couple of runs. So it's just been a great time the last since I saw you guys all. So thank you.
Moving right along, past President Cindy. If you mean it, you have to talk really close into this microphone.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, is this close enough? Yes. I have a happy $5. One is Jim put my pen up. As you know, he bought me a 5-foot by 15-foot pet kennel that's going to hold my raised bed garden. So we got the dirt in, got the raised beds in, got the plants yesterday, so Friday I'm planting, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait. He goes, what did you get? I go, a little bit of everything. I kind of went crazy, but you know what? The sun is out, gardening is on my mind. Yay, okay. Oh, Lion Kurt.
Happy birthday, Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Just a second. So I'm $10. I'm happy $10. President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. So you know, yesterday of course was Cinco de Mayo, and that's a great day, and that's a lot of good stuff goes on. But the actual greatest day of the year is 6 de Mayo today, which is my birthday, and it very seldom falls on the Sweeney. So now you got it.
No, we don't need to record this. Past District Governor Steve.
Thank you, ladies. I have 2 cheapskate dollars. Everybody's 555, and I'm going to...
President
Just
who?
hold on. Not done. Steve, President, Carrie Ann. Lions and guests.
Too late.
First happy dollar is it took the little woman on a little vacation for her birthday. We went to Gig Harbor and discovered that we don't want to live there. We just want to visit there. It was a lot of fun. We checked into some retirement facilities and decided that $4,000 a month is just a little bit out of our rental range. Holy cow. And the other happy dollar is baseball rules one of the Patterson households. You're going to enjoy this one. The 11-year-old hotshot, our son Patrick's son, pitched a one-hitter and proceeded to go 5 for 7 in the tournament with his hitting. So at 11 years old, it's fun to, and we watch it on the app that Game Changer. It's so much fun to watch the game. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Are you sure? Wow. Oh, one moment, please. Okay, past district, Maryland.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, yes, we had a great time. About the little woman, when we were married, I believe it was our 33rd year anniversary. I don't know why I remember that, but we always had just wedding bands, and so that particular year, we talked about getting me a small diamond. So we had a reference to go into a jeweler in Bellevue, private dealer, and we looked at all the diamonds and whatnot, and we decided that I liked my solitaire. We were setting it up, and then the man who was from, were they Jordanians?
Jordanians.
He brings Steve over to his specialty counter, and he had a diamond there that was worth, today, I don't know.
$100,000.
He said,
Today,
How much are they only?
come on, today only. Go ahead.
he just said to Steve, he says, if you really, truly love your little woman, you will buy this one. I like my solitaire.
And you notice which one she has.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions of guests. A couple of weeks ago, we made, three of us, Lloyd, who isn't here, Ann and I, spent a couple hours making cotton candy for Mid-Valley School carnival they had. Anyway, I got a real nice thank you card from them today. They really appreciate it. And we got our name out there. It cost us like $20 in material. We made over 100 bags of cotton candy. So they really appreciate it. Thank you.
I forgot one thing.
Oh, I'll be back. Yes, President. You want to go over here? Okay.
Either way.
We're back with Lion John.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, I forgot that I won't be at the meeting next week. I'll be sitting on the sands of Maui and Kampali.
Let's George tell us. All right. President John.
Play pool.
President Carrie Ann, all lines and guests.
Still there.
I have to agree with Steve Patterson about Brands playing baseball. I spent all day Saturday at baseball. Connie switched off and watched a couple of soccer games here. But what great fun, especially when the kids excel. Also, one other dollar. Anybody that thinks that Syrian didn't have 5 days supply of alcohol with them on that trip.
Learn from the best.
Okay, PCC Hal.
Hey, thank you, Caleb Twisters, Honorable, and President Carrie Ann, fellow as a guest. The first happy dollar is a happy / sad. My number on the back of my badge now is number 8.
You're gonna die soon.
And I tell you, this is Leroy's fault because he fixed it.
Yeah, that's your IQ.
Okay. What number is yours, Greg?
Oh.
I know what number he is. 7.
You would have thought that took a head though.
The other happy dollar is my little rental fiasco is turning worse every minute. But that's the way it works in the road business sometimes. We are 12 trips to the dump so far. Yeah, and we're not done yet. I guess the final happy dollar is my brother reminded me I'm supposed to be doing something with the orientation manuals, that I'll get it done. Y'all have fun.
I know he will.
Thank you. Moving away. I like you better. Hi, Greg.
Picking on the old guy again.
President Carrie Ann, all lines, yes. First dollar. Most of you remember Gary Henthorne, who passed away about 3 months ago now. His granddaughter, Kenzie Henthorne, softball pitcher from Mark Morris, as a junior
This week, she was athlete of the week for the whole state. Then the other, I've got $5. This is an extremely happy dollar and proud dollar. My youngest granddaughter is a senior at Kelso. She's valedictorian. Right.
President Carrie Ann, wanted to guest, just a couple happy bucks this weekend was really cool. Motivating, also good food, helps the whole situation. And then anybody can go, and you don't even need to be in line, we found out. You just have to be a full, it was well worth the time.
First VP.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. I have a happy 85 cents because I already took all my money out of my wallet because I'm leaving in a couple days on a cruise, so I will not be here next week.
Oh, actually, you have money. Oh, I thought you were just handing out brownies to everybody and bribing them with chocolates. All right, second VP.
Careful of his brownies.
I've seen those before. Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. I also went to the convention.
Leadership.
We had to get up at certain times and we had to eat at certain times. And yes, John did have whiskey with him. So, thanks, John.
You're welcome.
We also met a lot of people, a lot of nice people. And so anyway, I argued with the project that they had, and basically the question, well, I never got a question or I never got a statement other than I had to get up and say something. So I got up and said something. And I'm done. Thank you. And I went and sat down. So anyway, everybody did well. We all passed. There was 4 of us.
You passed?
I passed.
I just kicked him out.
So anyway, it was a good time. And the wife drove all the way, so that was good.
All right, well, I see I have a pass on chair who did not have his money out.
Oh, yes, I did.
That's not.
Hiding. Okay.
You were
Steve.
passing me over.
That's right. Steve.
Got a program.
Hey, President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, I got a couple happy bucks. Went to the fundraiser for Community House. That was really, really nice. Really, Frank got so emotional there at the end when he was thanking everybody. It was really something else. And just a couple bucks because I don't have any Lions clothes.
I noticed. Lions apparel.
Yeah,
All right. The other pass on chair, Terry.
Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. Happy, sad $20. Come Friday afternoon, I had to go into Fred Meyer. And as I went into Fred Meyer, there were the early bird Lions, I believe, selling white canes.
White cane.
It's the white cane, usually the first weekend in May, and which it was. And our club didn't do one damn thing. So $20. Ooh.
Okay, Lion Larry answer.
Some of you guys were gone.
We needed a chair and
I vote for Terry.
And full line guests, once again, happy dollar there, because my daughter managed to come from Montana to help me out for a couple of weeks. So I'm enjoying that. Maybe a little more free to do some other things. And then quarters, because I don't have my third one today.
Yes, I noticed.
Mark?
Program chair, better known as past Victor County Board.
Well spoken. President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions, and Tommy. I'll try to make this quick this week. Congratulations to our recent graduates. Yeah, it's nice to see Rick, Karen, Ann, and John go through that training. Been a very busy stretch lately, wrapping up multiple weeks of doing 3 days a week at the food bank. Busy with grandkids. And I did hear Noah Claypool announced as one of the players while I was watching our grandchildren out of the field. So I know that your kids play other sports as well, John. I enjoyed hearing a reporter talking about the Kentucky Derby, saying horse racing is really Amish NASCAR. Quote of the week this week is from Friedrich Nietzsche. I was in darkness, but I took 3 steps and found myself in paradise. The first step was a good thought, the second a good word, and the third a good deed.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Line Secretary Lee, Roy.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions guests. I can remember that. Let's see here. Happy Dollar. This last weekend, for a few days, family and I got to go down to Las Vegas to be part of my niece's wedding. She was born and raised there. Her family lives all down there and everything. So it's great being with family. It was fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you see Dwayne?
Just checking in out here, sorry. All right, President, Carrie Ann.
Okay, Lions and guests, I have a happy dollar here. Last week I was gone because I was in Philadelphia, supposed to be for a training at work, and so they sent me out on this all-day flight that I was at with a layover, and they wound up canceling the training. It was a very long week. We stayed for a couple days and flew back, but it was long. Anyways, we'll get this meeting started. We have Mark as our chair this month. And he has something here that he is going to introduce.
Finally getting some work out of President Carrie Ann. Before I introduce Larry, just a heads up, next week is Betty Hayes to speak about mental health. May is Mental Health Month, National Mental Health Month.
And we need a lot of that.
Myself in particular, that's part of the reason I took it.
Yeah.
Larry Turner grew up in Southern California and Minnesota. He came to the Pacific Northwest for college, and that was interrupted for Navy service. After graduate work at the University of Arizona, he taught at Lewis and Clark University and the University of Minnesota. After teaching, he was employed as a program manager for the United States EPA. When he retired in 2004, he returned to the Northwest. Most of us that live here understand why he would return to the Northwest. Larry is married with 3 children, presumably grown. It wasn't included in my over, I'm guessing. Currently, he's working primarily on genealogy or helping his expert gardening wife. He says, moving a lot of dirt, and I can relate to that. It's like dirt therapy, and that's using my job. My wife's He's serving as president of the Lower Columbia Genealogical Society. Most of you are aware that I'm an adoptee. I recently found in the last few years my biological family, so I became interested. I was at the library and saw a flyer over there and contacted the Genealogical Society. I'm very happy to have been a member the 3rd year now that I've been in the Genealogical Society. Great Zoom meetings, if you're ever interested, I think Larry will tell us a little bit more about that. Please join me in giving a warm Lions welcome to Larry Turner.
Thank you, Mark.
I'm going to take flag
probably fall off.
There it is.
Okay,
It'll be here pretty soon.
well, and I'll be here a little while too. Keystone Cops.
Yeah. That's smart to have. I'm gonna turn it back on. See if that'll do it. No. If it stays.
I'm real low tech.
Just start talking, we'll be there eventually.
Okay.
Remember, your first screen is blank, so that's what you're seeing.
Well, let's get the next one then. That's the one that starts. Well,
It's coming.
the picture will come. It's a picture of a gravestone in Sioux City. And I got started in genealogy back in 1984 when my dad sent me this picture and he said, "You live in Washington, D.C. There's all sorts of things back there that can help you. Can you find out something about this guy?" And so I did, and I looked around and found some things, and I got hooked on genealogy. So, make a long story short, 20 years later, I retired, came back to the beautiful Northwest where I belong, and at that time, we were early in the internet, and the internet had not a lot of stuff, but it had message boards for various counties.
Yeah, it's coming.
And these message boards were generally specific to a county, and people could ask questions on them, and other people would respond, or some people would. Here we go.
Yeah, we're almost there.
And people would respond to these queries, and I happen to get a little bit of expertise. Oops, we're too far off now. This is the gravestone that got me started, and I had developed some expertise in New York counties because this guy actually was born in upstate New York. And somebody asked a question about the counties, and I could answer the question, yes, this county was formed in such and such a time. And I signed the note that I wrote back, I guess it's an online message, and I signed it the way I usually do, Larry Turner, Kelso, Washington. Imagine my surprise when this person wrote me back and said, "Why don't you come to the Lower Columbia Genealogical Society? I live in Longview, and you're just one bit away." So I did. I started going to the Lower Columbia Genealogical Society and got involved, and then they made me president. These things happen, whether you like it or not. Anyway, Lower Columbia Genealogical Society got started early. The pre-start was a couple of ladies meeting in the Longview Public Library to discuss their genealogy and family history. One of those people meeting in 1958 is still a member of the Lower Columbia Genealogical Society. She's 98 years old, and she continues to be a member. But it got really organized formally in about 1963. And this is a newspaper article, and that's John Gearhart. Gearhart Gardens was our first president. And the key thing about this slide is the headline. You want to trace your family tree? Local Genealogical Society can help. Well, genealogists love to make other people do genealogy, whether they like it or not sometimes. And so we want to help. We've got
a variety of ways of helping. We have volunteers standing by. We even have a dedicated email for help, and we are quite likely to want to do that. We also get help with monthly programs, and we have a desire to help lead to activities. The first activity was to try and document all the people buried in Cowlitz County. And that was no small feat, because some of these graves are in isolated places. There's people who buried on farms behind their house where blackberry bushes have grown, and it was a little bit of a problem, but we managed to do it. I wasn't here, so they managed to do it. And at that time, they ended up publishing a Cowlitz County record of cemeteries. This is just one volume. And we continued on. The cemetery, I think there's 3 or 4 of these books that we published. And this is old style. Now we have online things. There are people who post pictures of gravestones all over the world. And so we have this kind of a thing now at Find a Grave. And you can see that there's somebody who might be a little familiar there. And not only does it contain his gravestone data, but people will post other things: birth, death, where buried, and a little bit of a description of Mark and even his relatives, as long as they have a similar Find a Grave memorial. So they don't get everybody. But these are very useful, because now if I happen to be a relative of his, I would be able to go and take a look and see what other relatives I might want to be tracing. So in 1977, the Alex Haley, well, he wrote it earlier, The Roots, and Roots became an extremely popular TV miniseries, and it promoted genealogy all over the United States and probably beyond. There were a lot of people who became interested. Lower Columbia grew quite a bit, and given that we were recruiting, we were getting new people, we were able to do some more things. So we decided to go after county records. Now, this is the nice, neat county records that Mark goes and sees. They're deeds. They're all packed away very nicely. And we didn't do anything to record the deeds because they're so easily accessible. But what we did do is we looked in various areas, corners, crannies, nooks, wherever we could find them. And we ended up publishing all the marriage records from 1925, probate records, 6 volumes of probate records, naturalization, wills, taxes. Back in 1892-93, there was even a requirement to get a fish certificate. You had to have an affidavit of citizenship in order to fish. That's probably commercial, but I'm not sure, but it was amusing to me. Before the internet came along, we had a lot of microfilms available, called the microfilm era. And we would go and see what we could find on microfilm. And a lot of the records for various counties, just like we had recorded the local records, other people had recorded records in other places. And then the Church of the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, they had the largest genealogical library in the world. And they sent their, I think they were mostly missionaries, but other people too, around to the various towns, and they copied on microfilm all of the records that they could find. And then they made them available in Salt Lake City. But they were on microfilm. And so in order to do anything, you had to go to Salt Lake City, or they had family history centers in various places. There's one out on 30th Avenue at the LDS Church out there.
and people can go in there and they can get help. It used to be that you would order your microfilms from Salt Lake and they would be sent to the local family history center for $2 to $6 each, and you could keep them for 3 or 4 weeks, and then they'd be sent back. My wife did a lot of that when we were back in Virginia on her line. So the other thing that we would focus on primarily is census records, because they include, at least since 1850, they include all the people in the household, and since 1880, they include the relations. This is mother, father, daughter, etc. So you could get a lot of information that way and continue. So the census records were important, and those were available either in Washington, D.C., where I happened to get my start in genealogy, or at the National Archives in Seattle. There are also places, state archives. When I was back in New York and looking for this Peter Helmer Turner, I happened to see online, in a library, we weren't online then, this genealogy of his, and it was very strange. It was just a straight line, whose ancestor and so on. And it gave the name of a person at the bottom who supplied it. This was a book that was about that thick, and it had about 5 genealogies per page, so it was a massive thing. It was called a compendium, 7 volumes. And I happened to locate the son of the person who had written that had Peter on it. And I found out that when she died, she left her genealogy to the New York State Archives. And so I happened to visit them. I've been there 3 times now for a week and a half each, gathering information, mostly by taking pictures of documents, so that we didn't have to write everything down. So state archives can be very good. I also found my grandfather's will in the South Dakota State Archives. The archives up, the state archives here in Olympia, I'm not sure. I haven't been to them. I have no Washington ancestors to study, so I have to do other things. We also would write local societies. Other societies would do the same kind of things we did. There's this red book which has a list of all the counties in the country and where the offices are, how to get in contact with them. So they would go and find these people and write letters and exchange information. Newspapers were great for seeing information. Obituaries were particularly good. We go in, this is an obituary. And and other things, weddings, then announce where it was and that sort of thing. On microfilm, usually you had to go to the place where the newspaper was in order to do it in these early days. So that was basically where we were at that time. But when we were early, we had books, this red book and many others, that we carried around in the trunk of a car to the meeting. And then it became, I think, several people used the trunks of their car to get the books that they had to the meeting. Well, in 1980, Lower Columbia developed a memorandum of understanding with the local Longview Public Library to house our books. And so we have been housing our books there ever since. At first they were in the little room just off the front entrance, and then they got moved to the reference room, and now they're up in the wrong way, up on the mezzanine where we have a nice table, and there's a copier back there, and there are several walls of books that only show one there. And so that is where we do it now. We have over 3,500 books. I'd say 90% of them were bought or donated to the library by our society. This is now not becoming one of the more favorable places because everything is going online. And it changes genealogy quite a bit. But we have we don't do anything except we have a website online that has the records that we have published on it, also tells about our meetings and such. But we have a newsletter that goes out, and it has quarterly, and it has interesting aspects of genealogy and news about the society, and sometimes a little bit of humor. If that was posted, if you can't read, it says, "Here lies Lester Moore, 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more." Not surprisingly, that's in Tombstone, Arizona, but it got published in our. We have monthly programs. They are quite varied. Again, they're designed to help, and that's what we want to do, is help people get more on their genealogy. Civil War military records. Was your ancestor in the Civil War? Well, here's a way to find out how to get his records. Citing your sources. Good genealogists are supposed to be able to tell you where they got a record, rather than try and remember off the top of your head. So citing your sources is important. Google has a great way of searching for people and for places and for events. School records, DNA. DNA is obviously a very popular topic these days. And as a matter of fact, there was an article on DNA and genealogy in Science magazine recently, which is not where I expected to find it. But their normal genealogy, or DNA, is used by most genealogists, and it's autosomal, and it helps you to get your general ancestors. But there are 2 specialized ways of using DNA. Y-DNA will only follow the male line back, so you can trace the male line back. You can't go father, mother, father. You got to go father, father, father. And then there's mitochondrial DNA, which does the same thing for the mothers, which is really useful, but it's a little harder to track because mothers keep changing their names, and so it's hard to follow. Making your story come alive. I like to write stories. I want people to be interested in what they did. I don't want to just show a tree and say, here are the facts. So I got very interested in making your story come alive. How to get from here back to your homeland. My original ancestor, Turner ancestor, came from England. Robert Turner is so common that it is hard to find where he came from. I have no idea. But we have people from Germany, ancestors, Eastern Europe, and all the various places. And we're having a program here on how to use family search. That's coming up, I think, next month. And it will help us to use the family search, the Latter-day Saints information that's in the Family History Center, and it's online. There's so much online now. So we have those monthly meetings. We have a lot of things going on. Make one more move here. This gives the information. We have a Zoom link for our meetings because we are getting older, and a lot of our folks do not drive at night. So we started in the pandemic having Zoom meetings, and we have continued that way. You can get a link. All of this is in the brochures that are around. If you want to take a brochure, feel free. We have our website listed there. Membership is only $20 a year, a little bargain. And so basically that's about it. But I started with Peter, and I did find a fair amount of information about Peter. Peter was born in New York. He had a business there. Then he moved to Wisconsin, where he had more businesses, and then he became the treasurer of Madison, Wisconsin. And then he got in the first state legislature, and he, in 1852, tried to get the vote for women in Wisconsin. He failed, but he tried. And then he went to South Dakota, where he lived in Turner Village, which was named after him, which is in Turner County, which is named after his brother. So, anyway, that's the story I have for genealogy and Lower Columbia Genealogical Society. If anybody has any questions, I would be glad to respond if I can hear you, because I don't hear very well, but I can talk a lot.
Before they get to questions, she'll bring a microphone to whoever needs it. But Samuel Mark Morris that you showed up there,
Yes.
on that slide, he was a charter member of the Longview Pioneer Lions.
Okay.
Write that down. Put that in.
Rick over here has a question.
Kurt, next to you.
Kurt first. Kurt.
Me first?
What year did
Will this court please come to order?
The records? I don't know anything about the records burning.
Okay. Not this year.
Larry, hi, I'm Kurt Anagnostou, and as you can tell, my last name, I'm Greece. My grandfather came over from Greece, and
Can you speak up a little more, please?
what I was saying is my grandfather came over from Greece. My last name's Anagnostou, and it sounds like the society could help me do research, because we ran into roadblocks trying to find, from European records. But the question I have, and what I didn't see on your list, is my grandmother was Native American, and she was married by my grandfather off a reservation in North Dakota, and we have run into endless roadblocks.
I might be able to help you there.
What beat of the roadblock?
My second cousin, biological second cousin, is the unofficial genealogist for the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. So, talk to me.
My wife has Native American roots, and we never knew what Native American group it was. We thought it was one of the Iroquois, 7 Iroquois tribes, but she took the DNA test, and then she got matched up with somebody, and we had visited a first cousin that grew up on the reservation, Mohawk reservation back there. So I think if you can, or if it works out, a DNA will establish, number one, that it is indeed Native American, which in your case sounds like very much like it, but it can also help you find where they are. You have to have other people, of course, who are taking DNA tests, but the various tribes had somewhat consistent DNA. There was a lot of mixing, but you may be able to find something with a DNA test. I can't offer anything else other than the fact that there are a lot of people out there trying to do Native American genealogy. Everybody wants to be related to Pocahontas or and most people aren't.
Hey, Mark, you tell Kurt what your hourly rate is?
Thank you, Larry, for coming to talk to us. Very important information that was shared. One moment while I move my step here. We have some announcements. And we will start with, how about Karen Johnson? We'll start with her.
I have some announcements from the Education Committee. Roaring for Reading is coming up on May 22nd, which is a Thursday. I think we would be there about 8:30 in the morning. I've got to double check with Christopher Anderson on that, but I will get an email out there. And there will also be a sign up that Jane is going to put on. And then regarding scholarships, we're due for a meeting for selecting for the high school scholarships. It will be tomorrow night at my house on Ocean Beach Highway. The committee already has that information. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Cindy Sessions.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. One, save the date, is June 20th for our installation dinner. Speaking of which, I'm going to have a meeting over here right after our meeting to get people organized on doing things and picking up our menu.
Okay, thank you. How about Steve Patterson?
President Carrie Ann, Lions and guests, orientation for new members will occur not this week, but next Thursday, the 15th. And it'll be at Ashtown Brewery, and it will be that will be the program. The orientation will be the program. So for you new members, we'll get you a pre-member packet before, if Hal will hustle up. We'll get that for you before you attend the orientation. Thank you.
Hey, I'm just like Steve, I'm coming up a little short. Gotcha.
Well, how about Bob Piper?
Right along.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, for Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests again. We had a good day on Friday. I don't want to say I had plenty of help because then nobody will show up. But yeah, there was a sign-up sheet out there that came on the email. So we got another Friday coming up. We appreciate your help.
Sorry.
Well, go enjoy the sunshine.
And Terry Waybrook?
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. Continuation of the awards program from last week. We have 2 more to give away,
Somewhere?
and which people weren't here last week. But anyway, they were probably doing something real good. At any rate, an unsung line of the month for last month, or March, Penny Piper, for just doing all your stuff. Back and forth to the microphone.
I wasn't here to get it.
She was doing something else then.
We were actually with Bob's sister. We're actually with Bob's sister, which is a good thing, by the way. She's got dementia, for those of you that don't know that, and she's gone downhill very quickly. But we had her in another room with another patient, because that's all they had, and and the other patient were having confrontations. So we got her into a private room, and the doctor came to see her and gave her happy medicine, and she's doing very well.
Get some happy medicine.
Was it John's medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that probably would
John
work
had
too.
Okay. Thank you. And one more, we have another Lion of the Month, but maybe it was just the only Lion of the Month. I think we have 2 unsung. But anyway, Lion of the Month for March, Jay Pruitt, because he doesn't do a damn thing.
He's good at sitting on it, but.
Good helper. He was sick last week, or the whole family was, or something to that effect. So, anyway.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you.
All right, and I would like to remind the board that we have a board meeting this Thursday. I know it seems early, but it is the second Thursday. That is this Thursday. Yes, this Thursday, 8 a.m. at Life Mortgage. We will see you there. And we have, yeah.
Along with that board meeting, the board is voting for Lion of the Year, Lion of, or Rookie Lion.
Rookie.
So if you could all be there to vote and are on the board, great.
Yes, please be there. We also have an evening meeting that's coming up at Ashtown. Like what it was announced is we're doing the orientation then also, but please come to that and support the evening meetings. That always happens the third Thursday of each month. So this month it will be May 15th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Ashtown. And then we have baked goods in the back.
Yay, ladies. My turn.
President Carrie Ann for the Lions and Guests. First pick goes to Katie. And whatever's left over goes to Mike Carter.
Again?
Very good. I also have some tickets